I hope he's not doing something foolish. I wonder if he... Huh? I mean, he said after one more would be... he would be gone, so he's not gone yet. But maybe he's morphed into Frey or something. I don't know. Our compromise. You knew from the first that there was only one way this could end. God's damn it, Mist. We're going to have to track him down and make him return the remainder of the Aether he stole from you, aren't we? He said that when this was finished, naught would remain of him. Bloody vague and ominous, to say the least. We'll just have to press him for answers when we find him. You last saw him at Ralger's Reach in Garabanya, yes? We'll start there. I'm going too. I won't take no for an answer. Sid's gotten better, but he's a long way from fully recovered. Besides, you'll need someone else to help you do the talking. Sid's no good at that. He's just like, oh, well, I guess. Okay, Ralger's Reach. Back out to Ralger's Reach. I'm not even done with this quest line yet, and it's no wonder. I wish I could remember her name, but it's no wonder that the writer of this is now like, you know, the lead writer for the MSQ. Looking for a young boy with long blue hair, you say? Reckon I would remember someone like that if they were to come this way, and I don't. Spoke with a fellow before me during the changing of the guard, as we do, and he made no mention of anyone matching that description either. Maybe he went out to the peaks. Because that's, if I were to guess any of the areas that I thought, like I said, of this fight that's in Garabanya, I would say the peaks. What's that? You're looking for that boy too, are you? I was watching some birds late the other night when I hear someone skulking about behind me. Forgive me, I hear him saying before he runs off and disappears into the dark. Then I realize it's quiet. Too quiet, aye. Sleeping birds make noise, and mine ain't. Of course they're dead. Every last one of them. No wounds or any other obvious marks, but there they lay, like the life was sucked right out of them. Wait, what? Then I realize it's quiet. Too quiet, oh wait. Sleeping birds make noise, and mine ain't. Because they're dead, every last one of them. No wounds or any other obvious marks, but there they lay, like the life was sucked right out of them. Okay, this was like, to me it did, I think, like a context shift. Like, I think it was going in one way and I read it that way, and then suddenly, what else did he say before that? Yeah, skulking about me, forgive me, before he runs off and disappears in the dark. And then I think he starts talking about his chocobos, I think. Yeah, he's a beast tamer. I don't know how or why he did it, but there's no denying that he did. I demand recompense. If you find him, bring him to me. So he killed the chocobos? Dude, this quest is just... It's like, you know, you're going straight, and then just like an abrupt, like, left turn. And then you're going straight, and then another abrupt left turn. And it's like, wait, what is going on here? I gotta check something. This is gonna take a second, but I'll do. typing is terrible. Yeah, Natsuko Ishikawa. Natsuko Ishikawa. I gotta remember that name. I mean, I know who she is. It just, it's a Japanese name. I'm not as familiar. Natsuko Ishikawa. It's a fucking wizard. Okay. Ah, yes, I remember the long-haired boy. Very curious, with many questions about the nature of Aether. He conversed with one of the other conjurers for a time. I know not what they discussed, but from his expression, I gathered it was important. Yeah, it's nuts. I mean, we're not even done with this storyline, but I'm feeling thoroughly impressed by the writing. A lot of unusual folks coming through the Reach these days. I have a bad feeling about this. I know Mist hasn't done something stupid. Or I hope. Right? I hope Mist hasn't done something stupid. Our inspector returns. Tell us, have you learned aught of Mist's whereabouts? Seen conversing with a conjurer and possibly killing chocobos? Not sure what to make of that. Though we can be sure he stayed here for a time. But perhaps no longer. We learned but moments ago from Gillo here that a boy matching this description was seen leaving the Reach. He is for the peaks, and so are we. I wonder what he's doing, going off on his own without, like, I mean, obviously he seems to be very attached to our character, so the only thing I can think is just he assumes, like, we will find him, and he's just leading us somewhere we need to go, or I don't know. They're dead. Just dead, like the chocobos in the story you heard. No visible injuries, no bleeding. Aye, it is as Riel says. These beasts died for no discernible reason. Just like the chocobos that man in the Reach claims Mist somehow killed. Oh, wait. I didn't reread it again. Because did he mention something about... Yeah, no wounds or any other obvious marks. It's all very weird. But it doesn't add up. Other than his singular magic, Mist was utterly helpless. Unless... Was he always capable of this? But we know the answer already. He stole your Aether when we first met. Even if he could do it, even if he did do it, why? We'll ask him when we find him. And this time, you'll let me do the talking. Search the east. Riel and I will head south. We'll meet in between if we find not, and if we do, either you will come to our aid or we to yours. Okay, yeah, it was Riel. I mentioned before, a lot of times I don't pay attention to the name on the chat bubble. So, you know, I get far enough into the dialogue and then I start getting confused because I'm like, wait, who said that line? But yeah, it was Riel that had said, like, even if he could do that, why would he? As you survey your surroundings, you observe not out of the ordinary, but on the edge of hearing, you hear a whisper to the southwest. Oh. Oh. Ooh. Oh, this is all very interesting. No, Mother. Oh, did he bring back... well, clearly he did. Riel's mother. 7 hells, I hate being right. On your guard. Mist has shown his true colors. The Aether, whatever else he took from those beasts, has given him tremendous strength. Contrary to his earlier warnings, conjuring another simulacrum wasn't the end of him. And of all the wonderful people he had to pluck from our memories, he chose his stride de Colonant. He knows why we're here, and this is his answer. He summoned the monster that haunts Riel in her dreams and sends her screaming from her bed. Forgive me, Cid, but you gave me no choice. What will you say? Say your name, your real name. There's always a choice. Why would we ask, say your name, your real name? Well, no, because that's exactly what we asked Frey, wasn't it? And so this is the admission that we've got the idea that Mist is us. Shall I ask you the same? Who holds the reins? Though it matters not, we are complicit, you and I. Can you even remember why you came here? Why you even remember how many you killed? Or, oh, geez, my reading, a lot of just making up words. Okay, can you even remember why you came here? Can you even remember how many you killed? How many lives shattered? How many stories ended? Upon the surface of the crystal are carved the sins of dark nights past, and yours are beyond counting, beyond fathoming, without end. Jeez. Justice is an excuse. Nobility is a lie. Murder is murder. So this is us grappling with the idea of, regardless of our intentions, people are still either dying by our hands or through collateral damage by our deeds. And though we are most definitely not without fault, and though we are most definitely not without fault, it is this cruel, indifferent world which has made murderers of us all. Okay. And so now we're blaming, everybody else, the world around us. I mean, in a way, because if all these terrible things in the world weren't happening, we wouldn't feel compelled to write them. But we need suffer no longer. I sought to make these broken souls whole, one by one, when in truth the solution was much more simple. A world beyond pain and suffering and anguish and despair. A world beyond death. A world in which we never need bid farewell to our dearest friends. And how many beasts will you need to kill to make this world of yours? How much aether will you consume to see it through? Bloody self-righteous sophistry from a mewling whelp. So your brilliant plan is to fill the world with simulacra of the dead, is it? And somehow that's supposed to make everyone happy? Well, you're right about one thing, and I'll give you that. This world is brutal, uncaring, without logic or justice. No justice but that which we make for ourselves, and I'll be damned if I give it up so you can force your illusions upon us to assuage your guilt. Did you not find comfort in your reunion with your master? Even though you knew it was a lie, did it not help you unburden your soul to find a measure of peace in this madness? I am not your enemy, not then or now. I will not fight you. All I ask is that you leave me to do my duty. It's never too late to turn back. You are still a good person. You can still be a good person. Nope, I'm gonna fight you. So this is your answer. Maybe you cannot accept what needs to be done, but I can. Goodbye. Okay. Hopefully they don't throw paragraphs at me while I'm fighting. Ours is the greatest lie of all. We have to end it. I remember every face. They are watching and waiting. Oh. I can see the dude hiding there. Ilberd. Livia. What's his face? So many broken by this world. And then by you. So many. Woe betide the man who stands opposed to the weapon of light, for death will be his reward. Death for him and his kin, and all that he holds dear. Woe betide the man who stands with the weapon of light, for death will be his reward. Death for him and his kin, and all that he holds dear. Damn, even stands with the weapon of light. Like sands through the hourglass, everything we fight so desperately to protect slips through our fingers, and what remains is us, only us, and the memory of our sin. To walk this path is to suffer, to sacrifice. Listen to my voice. Listen to our heartbeat. I tire of this charade. Justice demands no less. Listen to my voice and listen to our heartbeat. That's Frey, right? And justice demands no less. I know I've heard that line before, but from where? Was it a Dark Knight thing, or was it... Or is that how it ends, is justice demands no less? That whole speech we had to do over and over again. Serve, save, slave, slay. I've sins aplenty, aye, but regrets, not so much. And this is the balance. You know, it's almost like, you know, the angel and the devil on the shoulder. You know, where one of them focuses on the bad things we've done and how they're not justified, and the other one thinks that everything is justified. And if she wouldn't listen to me, the embodiment of good sense and pragmatism, then what hope could you possibly have? A house divided cannot stand, you know. This childish rebellion ends now. What in the seven hells is this? A compromise, I suppose. Our dear friend here refuses to let me take the reins. But I wasn't about to stand idly by while that imbecile tries to do whatever it was he was trying to do. No hard feelings about White Brim, huh? Promise not to stab you in the back. It'll be just like old times. Oh, and then that's the... No, that's... Is that the... No, it's definitely not the Stormblood sword. It's the Heavensward sword, right? A Dark Knight... Oh, and it's his sword. Duh. A Dark Knight needs a sword. Take mine. No, no, this is wrong. This is all wrong. I offer you peace, restitution, a chance to make amends. Do not think you are above it. Do not think that a reckoning will be postponed indefinitely. Oh. When it comes, I shall welcome it with open arms. I was just thinking it's... Mist is definitely guilt. And Frey is like anger or vengeance. I think. But today will not be the day. And you will not be the judge. So where did all those simulacrum go? Okay, we deal with the dross, then the boy. A simple plan. Okay, go for the healer first. Oh, that's easy. Look on the faces of your victims. They are legion. Who else is he fighting? Okay, just... They all basically go down in one hit. Again and again and again you kill. Do you feel nothing? You know my heart. It bleeds like any other. These scars and sins are ours to bear, not to deny. But you, boy, I deny. Yours is the coward's way. Okay, I was just, again, it's like keeping up with the names along with the dialogue. On a throne of bone she waits. Dug deep for those magnificent bastards, didn't you? But lest you forget, we bested them before. Oh. Dealing with the warrior of darkness, too. Why won't they answer? He's grown too weak to summon more shades. The chorus falls silent in the abyss. Finish it, Lavenza, you Soul Eater. Reclaim the last of your aether. Make us whole. A reckoning will not be... Forgive me. Forgive me. I ask, I beg, I pray, but it never comes. I'm curious, is that hair something players can actually use? Because that's Ysael's hair, isn't it? I was just thinking, like, I mean, he looks a lot like Ysael, and I wonder if that's on purpose. Okay, forgive me, I ask, I beg, I pray, but it never comes. Again, they go to join the multitude in the black oblivion of the abyss. Such is our lot, such is the fate of all who are born, to suffer and to die. Do not seek forgiveness, for it will not ease the burden. It weighs as it should. But what of the lost? Do they not deserve to live again? Certainly not all. They do. In our hearts, in our souls, in our memories. No one likes having to say goodbye, but it's a part of life. That's what makes the time we share together so precious. You can't obsess over the mistakes of the past, or you'll lose sight of the future, of the people still with us, who need us more than ever. The greatest strength is born of the flame in the abyss. It was a very, like, confident pose. Listen to my voice. Listen to our heartbeat. Listen. I forgive you. I forgive you. I forgive you. Thank you. That is all I ever wanted. Yep, guilt. So, this is it. One last parting. One final farewell, after a fashion. In your darkest hour, in the blackest night, think of me, and I will be with you, always. For where else could I go? Who else could I love but you? So just rereading that, there's a lot there. And now we're not even going to talk to him here. Kind of some big shit just happened here. And you just walk off and go back to Ishgard. Like, what? That was some heavy, heavy stuff. And it's just like, okay, now find me back at Ishgard. What is going on here? Man, this quest, I've got stuff to say, but I'm going to wait until I get all of it in, you know, whatever's left, and then I shall speak. Ah, you're back. Welcome home. You'll forgive us for returning to Ishgard ahead of you, I hope. I needed some time to think on everything that happened in Garabanya. Yeah, he was like, man, I gotta go. I won't pretend to know everything you've been through in your life. A man can never truly understand what's in another's heart, and probably not their own for that matter. I'm pretty much rambling at this point, but I suppose what I'm trying to say is that I'm grateful for everything you've done for me and Riel. I like you, I respect you, and I'll always be here for you if you need me. We're fellow walkers of the path after all, and friends, I'd like to think. Oh, that's awfully heartfelt coming from, what does, Riel always say about him? I can't remember now, but anyway. I've been wondering. Mist appeared at the same time the soul crystal cracked, yes? But which happened first? And why then and there? Yeah, I wonder why then. Damned if I know. Does anyone truly understand how soul crystals work? What matters is that the crystal and Lavenza have been made whole. Well, have we actually seen the crystal? That said, a heart bleeds, a man weeps, a soul burns. Thence comes the darkness to consume. A few hearts have bled as much, and few hearts have bled as much as hers. Speaking of bleeding, I think your wounds have reopened. If you would sit, it would be much easier for me to tend to them. You should get some rest too, Lavenza. Not all wounds are so obvious. Yeah. Out of the mouths of babes and sucklings, praise Helone. She's right, though. No need to overdo it by running off to the next battle just yet. If you must put one foot in front of the other, though, why don't you go back to where this whole damn mess began? Maybe you'll have an epiphany. Part of me can't help but think this was all a fever dream. And then I take a deep breath and feel the pain in my ribs. It's nice to dream of a world without pain and suffering. But the world is what it is, and dreams will only carry you so far. That's why we've got swords. Wow, coming from her. Oh, man. Sid's obviously starting to rub off on her. And she's starting to rub off on him with what I was saying earlier. So yeah, I'm curious. I'm actually curious. I don't know if it'll do like a flashback or if just later I'll rewatch it and see if there was something like a piece of dialogue or something that it makes sense to have sparked all this. Because we were talking with the two of them at the time. Where it all began. What troubles you, Mr. Shark? Ah. See, this is... And to have him come in is like... Again, just the whole connection of this storyline to the MSQ. It's getting me emotional, man. Ah, but of course, 'tis bitterly cold this day. At times like these, one should be warming themselves by the fire. Not a day goes by without your name being spoken, you know. The soldiers and merchants often bring us news of your latest exploits. That said, to hear it from the hero herself would be much preferable. But there would be no expectation were you to call on us. Okay. The pleasure of your company alone would be more than enough. Oh, okay. It's just saying if we were to call on them, they wouldn't ask anything of us, I think. Rare though I expect it will be in the days to come. But your destiny was never to remain here, was it? Though a part of me wishes that you would. Forgive me, I find myself growing more and more sentimental in my old age, and in working on my memoirs, I've had to reflect on the darker chapters of my life. Horace Chiffon lived his to the fullest, and if his story is preserved for generations to come, then I should be glad of it. You will always have a place here, Lavenza, for you are family. Now go. Do not let me keep you from your labors. The world waits for none, not even you. I think that was him saying, kind of letting us know that everybody has their darkness. You know, everybody has, you know, either the regrets or whatever it is, you know, and that all you can do is keep going on. In the depths of the abyss, you hear a whisper and are filled with warmth. And then the blackest night. That's one of the things that caught me, you know, in that last line from Mist, you know, was the blackest night and all that stuff. And I was like, oh, this must be when we get this. This concludes the Dark Knight quest for Stormblood in order to, yeah, blah, blah, blah. You must complete the main scenario quest of Shadowbringers. Yeah, and I was thinking earlier today, because the Shadowbringers one is so close, just as soon as I finish 5.0, I'm probably just going to go straight into that. And just, you know, end, you know, that stream or whatever with that quest. You must have completed the role, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Once you have done so, next available from Sidurgu. And there we go. So yeah, I've got words. As of yet, so of the things that I have pseudo recently played through, in that I'm counting Shadowbringers, you know, and then up through now 4.0. I can't say that this story is as good as Shadowbringers. But then again, this is also, you know, like a chapter of a book versus an entire book, or a short story versus a novel. But I would definitely put it right under the story of Shadowbringers. It's just so good. There's so much depth to it, and it's. I was thinking of this earlier. It's an interesting thing and an amazing ability from Ishikawa. What's her first name? I think I still have it up. No, I don't. But from Ishikawa, that to be able to, because I think they definitely don't want to, and I think they've said this before, they don't want to tread on whatever RP, like backstory you have for your character. But I think they still do an amazing ability of being able to still tell a story about your character without needing to, I think, to break any of the RP you may have established. I mean, granted, if your character, like if you've made your character out to be like more like Frey, then a situation like this wouldn't have happened. But I don't know. I guess just because I'm not, I just haven't really come up with a backstory for my character. I just take in whatever they give me and learn of my character based on that. And to have such rich character story presented to me it's just fantastic. It's and in how they do it, you know, to meet these people and to think that these people are real people, and then to find out that they're parts of you. I mean, in a way, it's very similar to, I think, when you meet somebody else, and particularly when you meet somebody else that has maybe an aspect about them that you don't like. And then I think typically in my experience, eventually you grow distant from them. Maybe there's a blow up or something, but like you're not in contact with them anymore, but you think back and you end up realizing that part of maybe why you didn't like them was because that aspect about them that you didn't like was an aspect you see in yourself. And so it's interesting to kind of, it's almost like that aspect, because the other people you meet there's so much more depth to them than just that one piece. But in this case, it's like you're just meeting that one piece. Yeah, and like I said, with Mist being essentially your guilt, and Frey being I'm thinking of the right, because to me, guilt absolutely sums up Mist. But a word, I have not thought of a word yet that encapsulates Frey as well as that. I mean, because there's anger or vengeance or... but those don't quite encapsulate it as well. But again, it's kind of like the angel and the demon. It's... but the extremes of it, because it's definitely not bad to feel guilt. But guilt to the point that it paralyzes you. Or it has you acting in a fashion that is potentially not only not helping yourself, but not helping others as well. Or maybe more appropriately, not helping others, and even then not helping yourself. But it's... yeah, I think I really appreciate this type of storytelling. Because a lot of it, with the main story, and that's the interesting thing, because I think it's Shadowbringers and it's Emmett Selk when it gets to more of this type of storyline, and that just... it's so much deeper, and it really at least for me, it makes me think of myself and my own perspective on things, because it's not, the story of like Gaius, at least at that point in A Realm Reborn, and Nidhogg, and even, Xenos, they're just this, just the big bad. And there's not really much else to that. Nidhogg, there is throughout that story. Gaius, you don't get until later. And we're still waiting for the depth to Xenos. But I like that type of story that makes you really just think on it, and it's not just as cut and dry as this is the bad guy, they are doing bad things and we need to stop them. I mean, even if in a case like Emmett Selk, where, at least for me, because I know I don't want to delve too deep into that stuff because I want to wait for Shadowbringers to do it, but I'll just say, even in a case like Emmett Selk, where you can empathize with them, some don't, but I do, you still know that you can't agree with them. And And that's a fascinating story to me, and I really enjoy that. And this, to me, this storyline, I think, falls along that same line in why I enjoyed it so thoroughly. And it's so sad that that's basically the end of it, you know, because from what I recall of all of the, because I've done all of the level 80 job quests, and they're basically just, hey, I did this, and that's it. You know, you're just updating your, you know, those NPCs that you interact with the job quest. You're just updating them on what you've been up to. But as far as like a real story goes, this is the end of it, which is kind of sad. I mean, unless of course you count the role quests, which are good, but you know, specific to the job like this, it's the end of it. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say, but just this was phenomenal. Phenomenal. And I look forward to Shadowbringers, you know, to getting back into Ishikawa's writing. Thank you for watching this video. Tonight's stream was phenomenal. So we did the Dark Knight Stormblood quests and started into 4.1. And again, between the Dark Knight stuff and the Fordola stuff in 4.1, this was just with story tonight, just a game. Um, so yeah, if you enjoyed this and you want to see more, like, comment, subscribe. If you want to see this stuff live because it's amazing, link to my Twitch is in the description down below. Thank you again for watching. Have a good one.